boys and girls, welcome back. It's so good to see you. It was great to hear from lots of you yesterday because I really do miss you. And it seems so weird that we're still not in school, but we can keep learning at home. So we're going to continue with the letter W. Remember yesterday we talked about W saying wah. And we talked about that sound in this story we read called Wimberly Worried. And I asked some of you to write to me about things that make you worried. And it was really interesting to hear what makes you worried. And I liked writing back to you too. I was thinking last night about this book, and another thing besides a text-to-self connection that we can make, I thought about a text-to-text connection because this book also made me think a little bit about Chrysanthemum. We know that Kevin Henkes wrote Chrysanthemum, but I was thinking about how he had a main character in this story that was similar to the main character in the Chrysanthemum, and how that character had a problem, and this one did too, and their family and friends helped them work through that. So we made two connections with this book, text-to-self and text-to-text connection. Hopefully you enjoyed that story. Today we're going to talk about W, but with a different kind of story. We're going to use a nonfiction story. This book has real information in it. What's the first clue? This is a real information book. When I look at it, first of all, does the title sound like a fun story? No, not really. Sounds more like something that this book can be about. Maybe just one thing, one topic. The other clue I see right away is this illustration. It's a photograph, not a drawing. Okay? That is a picture of lightning. That's something that's real. That looks like a real photograph of lightning. So using those two clues, right away I figured out this is going to be a nonfiction book. I'm just going to read parts of this nonfiction book. I can do that in an informational textbook because it's not a story that needs the beginning, the middle, and the end. A nonfiction book has information and it doesn't need to go in order necessarily. So I've marked some pages in this book about weather that I'd like to read. I was hoping to read this book outside in the weather you see in the window. Ooh, lots and lots of W's. But my neighbor's doing a little bit of landscaping and it's kind of loud. So we are going to stay inside and check the weather through the window, which appears to be a little bit sunny and a little bit cloudy. Let's talk about weather. This book has some great photographs in it. It actually comes from a National Geographic company. And if you've seen their books or their magazines, they've got great photographs. And they always have informational text. Oh, here's another clue. It's informational text. It's a contents page. It tells you about information that's in the book and what page we can find it on. Keep an eye for those in informational textbooks. Weather all around us. Weather is what is in the air. Weather is what the air is like outside. Sometimes the air is calm and the sun shines. And other times the air is breezy and the sky is cloudy. And rain can fall. You can use your senses to observe weather. Remember the 5 senses? Think about those in your head. You can see lightning and hear thunder. You can feel air move all around you. Moving air is wind. Hopefully, when we get back to school, I have a fun experiment to do with wind. If we look at these pictures, it shows us sunny, windy, and rainy. Another thing I see in informational text, labels. These labels on the pictures. We know all about those labels from our informational text drawings that we do with our science plans. All right, so I want to skip some pages and I want to go read on this page about weather. Wet weather. 2 W's. Earth is surrounded by layers of air and gases. Clouds form in the layers closest to the earth. Some types of clouds can bring wet weather. If you do that weather tracker experiment that's in your packet, it will give you an example of this. Rain. Rain can fall when the air is hot, warm, or cool. It collects in the clouds until it is too much and comes down. Freezing rain. Freezing rain is rain that freezes when it lands on a cold object. We probably won't have that now because it's not as cold out anymore. Rain, freezing rain, snow, sleet, and hail are all kinds of wet weather. Snow can fall when the air is very cold. Sleet is like ice mixed with rain and snow. It can fall when the air is cold. And hail is balls of ice. It can fall when their air is warm or cold. Some of these types of wet weather we won't see anymore because the air has warmed up since we have a new season. Spring started last week. Hopefully you looked at some spring things when you were doing the letter S. Weather changes day to day. Weather can change from day to day. Wind and temperature and cloud cover can change. On cloudy days, there are many clouds in the sky. On partly cloudy days, the sun is partly hidden behind the clouds, which is, I think, what I see outside my window now. The wind is not seeming to be very strong, but the clouds have moved in front of the sun, making it partly cloudy. You can observe how weather might change. For example, Monday might be foggy and cold. Tuesday might be sunny and warm. On Wednesday, clouds might hide part of the sun. It might feel warm on a partly cloudy day. And they have made a little chart down here about how the weather was on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. That's what I'm going to ask you to do now. I'm going to save the rest of this book for another day, and we'll read other things about weather. And I'm going to show you a little chart you can make to keep track of the weather for this week. You can take any blank paper. It doesn't have to be fancy paper. Use a marker, dark color, and draw a chart that will look like this. I'm going to draw a big rectangle. Of course, yours might be neater than mine because I'm trying to go quickly. You can ask for an adult to help you if you'd like. We're going to make a rectangle. Think in your head, is this rectangle two-dimensional or three-dimensional? I bet you know. All right, after I have my rectangle, I'm going to draw a line across the top. We're making a rectangle into a chart. Then I'm going to draw another line halfway down. I want to keep track of the weather for 7 days, which means you're going to go outside for 7 days and check on the weather. So I'm going to make this into 7 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right, I'm ready. In each box across the top, I'm going to write a word. Anybody think they know? You're going to write the days of the week. So since I'm going to start on Tuesday, I'm going to write Tuesday. Oh dear, it's not a big space. I have to make a plan to make my letters fit. All right, I made it fit. Check out what I started Tuesday with. It's the name, so it's a proper noun, and we have to use a capital letter. All right, the next day would be Wednesday. Oh, look what I did. I wrote too big, so I'm going to have to make my letters smaller now. Wednesday. You do not have to spell them correctly. You can spell them the best you can on your own. I love when you try. All right, you would go ahead and finish all the boxes for the week. On this box, I'm going to draw a picture of what the weather is like that day. So I'm going to head outside on Tuesday and see what it's like. Is it sunny? Is it raining? Is it snowy? Just like we kept track of the weather at school. So let's pretend like it is cloudy. I'm going to draw a picture of clouds and I'm going to write the word cloudy. Now, this is the bonus part. I would like for you on the next box to see if you can research and find what the temperature is when you go outside. Oh, where are some places we could find that? Some ideas might be looking on your parents' phone. There's usually a weather app. I bet if you look for the word weather, you could find the weather app on the phone. That might tell you the temperature. Sometimes listening to it on the television, you can find the weather or temperature. Or maybe you even have a thermometer at your house. Whoa, what's a thermometer? It's a weather tool. I'm going to look back in my book here because it talks about weather tools, which are things that you can use to find out about the weather. This is a thermometer. It's a weather tool. It measures temperature. So maybe you could even use a thermometer if there's one at your house and write down what the air feels like. That's what temperature is. So I'm going to write down, let's say the weather on Tuesday is 47 degrees. Degrees? How do you show degrees? Watch, this is weird. It's this little tiny circle up next to the number. That means degrees. That's really big stuff. We're not really supposed to know that in kindergarten, but we're smart, so we'll try. So on Tuesday, you look for what the sky is like and what the temperature is. I would like for you to do that each day, and you can see how the weather changes. Cincinnati is famous for its weather that changes all the time. You might remember last week it was really warm and then it got really cold. Let's see what it does this week. So get outside and find out what the weather is like in your neighborhood. I'm actually going to go see what the weather's like outside right now when I take my lazy dog over there for a walk outside. I miss you. I want you to keep working hard. Send me your questions. Send me pictures of what you're doing. And if you watch this video, down below, comment and tell me what your favorite weather is like. What is your favorite weather? Keep working hard. Bye, Katie.